Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the week of May 7th through the 11th. Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Just quickly want to mention before I get started, if you are interested in doing a personal reading, you can find that information in the description box below. And also in the description box below, you're going to find timestamps for the different areas that we deal with here in the weeklies. We have finances, foundation, and careers in the bottom. In the middle row, you're going to find love and relationships. And in the top row, you're going to find general health and wellness at the top row. And once again, all those timestamps are below. I've gone ahead and saved time by shuffling off camera. So I'm just going to flip the cards that came face down. And then we're going to start with the bottom row and work our way up. Nice. All right, so in terms of finances, foundations, and careers, what we have is the Eight of Pentacles, Four of Swords reverse, and the Eight of Swords. So let's see. I think like some of you, some people out there, you guys are, like you're really focused on your money right now with the Eight of Pentacles, right? A lot of you are really focused on your career, what's going on for you professionally, whether you own a business, whether you work for a company or something like that. And your focus is on that money. Well, yeah, a lot of you are really focused just specifically on money, since Pentacles deals quite heavily with actual dollars and cents. So some of you are actually having the financial part of your job be the focal point this week. It's heavily on your mind. God, I gotta pick this card up a third time. Because look at the field of vision on the woman. Like it's highlighting those pentacles. Like she's looking directly at the money. So some of you might be doing like checks and balances, looking over your accounts, looking over your savings, things like this. And it may have been because you've had like some not so good interactions with other people recently. Like, with the Eight of Swords, right? You've got two people there surrounded by 8 swords. And there seems to be, feels like at least, there was a disagreement between these two people, right? They're walking away from each other. The color scheme of the card is very dark. So there's been potentially an exchange between you and someone else regarding finances, or even a disagreement with someone on the job. And whatever it is, it's really got you counting your money. So some of you, if this was like a disagreement on the job, some of you are like worried about losing that job, which might be evident in the Four of Swords, but we'll see. But the Eight of Swords, you might have been like financially tied to someone, or tied to someone because of a project, and it didn't really work out that well. So let's say you own your own business, and let's say you're a contractor or something like that. You may have had a disagreement with one of your partners, or they may have done something on a particular project that costs the company money, that costs your business money. So you're thinking about it heavily, and you've had a disagreement with this person. And the Four of Swords in reverse, because Four Swords upright would be talking about, not relaxation necessarily, but reflection, a rest period. But in reverse, that's not happening. So this week, in terms of finances and career and potential business issues, a lot of you are going to be not stressed per se, but you have to deal with something. You have to work through a problem that someone else has brought into your life, or that they're the cause of, or you two contributed to the problem. And again, really heavy, like it's actual money. Like you have to literally go over accounts, and you have to figure out how you're going to pay for something. Do you have enough money to cover the damage? If you like, again, like if you have a contracting business or a landscaping business or something like that, and a project goes over schedule, or materials cost more than you initially estimated, that's going to be a slight headache for you. And the person that you're doing business with could also be a customer. If it's not someone who works for you or works with you, it could also be a customer. Whoever this person is that's sort of has an influence in this situation, you guys are not agreeing. So maybe you produced a quote for a customer that leveled at it like $2,000, but they changed their mind and now you have to go back to the drawing board and that's going to cost you more money, or they don't, it's just like a whole mishap in terms of the bottom line, the red and the black. There's like a little discrepancy going on there. It's not long-lasting energy, this whole bottom row. It's not long-lasting. I think it could be solved pretty quickly or easily. It's just a matter of the headache is having to go through it at all. The headache is having to deal with this person who may have, miscalculated, or they've changed their mind, or like in the case of it's someone who works for you, maybe you have someone who caused damage on a particular project, or they overspent on something and you have to sort of clean up somebody else's mess. That's the real issue here. You can do it. You have the mindset to do it because you're focused on the money. So you'll be able, because the focus is directly on money, it's kind of, the problem, like I said, will be cinched up pretty quickly. It's just annoying to have to clean up somebody else's mess and deal with somebody else's indiscretions. So boo on that. Moving on to love and relationships for the week, you have the Princess of Wands in reverse, you have the Six of Cups, and you have the Seven of Swords in reverse. I think somebody wants to come back to something and somebody else doesn't. Because you have the Six of Cups, right? In the center of the two reversed cards. So this signifies a particularly deep and effusive and significant relationship. Whether or not you actually are like close to this person, because Six of Cups can talk about an actual relationship that exists, or the potentiality of a relationship, or the potentiality of a partnership, right? So some of you may or may not be with this person who is represented in the Six of Cups alongside of you. Regardless, one of you is like, hey, we should go forward with this. And the other person's like, oh, I'm not really interested. Or I'm not interested right now. Right now? Right now or never? Right now. Because the Princess of Wands, which is the equivalent of the Page of Wands in the traditional tarot, Rider-Waite tarot, it's a young, immature energy. It's not a polished energy, the pages, or the princesses in this deck, in the Cosmic Tarot deck. And that means there's a potentiality for the energy to turn itself around, or whatever the initial intent is of a princess, it could change. So being in the reverse indicates not really interested, not really passionate, not really feeling this connection, not really wanting to move forward with things. But because it is a princess, it's like, that could change tomorrow. That could change by next week. It could change by the hour. Who knows? Regardless, someone is just like not feeling it. They're not feeling amorous. They're not feeling like being flirtatious or anything like that. They're like, they could be persuaded, I think, but they're not going to make any moves. They're not going to be an initiator in anything. Are they aware that there's a connection? Maybe. Some of them are, some of them are not, these princesses. Whoever the Princess of Wands would be. They may or may not be aware of the connection that is shared between the couple that's represented on the Six of Cups. And again, it doesn't have to be an actual established couple. This could just be someone that you're flirting with. This could be someone that you just know as friends. Regardless, they may or may not be aware of or feel some type of connection with the other person. The other person, who's on the other side of this thing, represented by the Seven of Swords in reverse. Seven of Swords upright. In traditional tarot, would talk about taking what's not yours, being a thief, being a sneak, being deceptive, all that kind of stuff. And there's a little bit of that in this card, but not a whole lot. What I see, though, is that someone is giving up. Not giving up on this relationship, but giving up on being distant. Giving up on being sort of out in the cold or out in the dark. Like this female figure is like walking. It looks like she's in a desert, I guess. Or actually, you can't really tell what the landscape is that she's walking in. But she's turning her back on it, I feel. So someone might be no longer interested in being single, no longer interested in playing the field, no longer interested in being disinterested. Maybe they want to start dating or start to open up their prospects, so to speak. Or they're trying to turn their back on denying that there's a connection with the Princess of Wands. However, regardless of how this goes, a lot of this feels like a stalemate, which, you know, is clear since they're both in reverse. But there is like this anchor in the Six of Cups that it would indicate that something could be established or something has already been established. Or like I said before, there's a potential for things to go further between these two people. But one is just not interested, like, for whatever reason, and they could be persuaded. They do have that. They just kind of have to be given the signal of, yes, I'm interested too. Like, if the Seven of Swords person came to the Princess of Wands and said, hey, do you want to go on a date? The Princess of Wands will go from the reverse and be like, oh yeah, sure, let's go on a date. I would love to date you. I would love to go out and have drinks with you, whatever. But because she's not in a receptive, and I'm saying she, it could be a male, it doesn't matter. Gender is regardless here in a general reading. Because the princess is in reverse, she's not receptive. But given the right words, given the correct approach, given open scheduling, she'll turn upright. And I believe I said that before, like, princesses, aka pages, they just have the ability to sort of, they're malleable, right? They can change. Seven of Swords person, they're also like letting go of like certain previously held beliefs or thoughts, because Swords deals with that. Swords deals with how we think, how we communicate, and all that. So they're giving up, that because the swords are buried, right? So they're giving up on something that they believe to be sort of truthful previously. And they're kind of seeking a new truth or a different perspective a little bit, is what I'm getting from that. But ultimately, I just feel like it's like this desire to move away from sort of like shadiness or cloudiness, or just like being for some it would be this feeling of moving away from being unobtainable and sort of going back towards civilization, so to speak. This person may have been like a lone wolf up until recently, and they're like trying to transition to going back into like civilized society, quote unquote, and like back into the dating world. And hence, if they reach out to the Princess of Wands, the Princess of Wands will be like, oh, you want to go out on a date? Sure, I'll go out on a date with you. It's just a matter of communication. But the connection is substantial, so that's kind of interesting. Like, they're both being really passive. They're both being kind of blasé about it. But one or both of them knows how significant this relationship is or could be. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. All right. Top row. Health and wellness. General overview for the week. You have Two of Pentacles, the Hangman, and the Strength card. So right away, the Hangman, excuse me, not the Hangman. The Strength card is associated with Leo, so some people might be dealing with Leo in terms of health and wellness this week. Or you yourself are a Leo. If not, don't force the zodiac to fit. And I think this line has been going strong for like the past, month or so that I've done these readings every week. Finally, And I think last week the Two of Pentacles showed up, but it was on this side. It was on the far side of the board. But it's now here in what I will take this week as being the initial starting point. The starting point is Two of Pentacles. So somebody's coming in from water, even though this guy's not at all wet. He hasn't been swimming in that water, but he's coming onto dry land. So there's this progress of getting firm footing, planting down roots, standing on solid ground and moving forward. There's this intent to stop wading in the water or swimming in the water or being adrift, kind of being nonchalant about everything, kind of being go with the flow with everything, and moving towards actually having structure, routine, and commitment in terms of health and wellness, which is good. And it's low, right? It's just a Two of Pentacles. It's just beginning, right? It's the foundation, or like I said, the intent. It's the bright idea, right? It's the blueprint on how to proceed forward, which is good because I believe in the past at least 2 weeks, but maybe even 3 weeks, this top row has been like delayed and like lacking confidence and not really having a way forward and ignoring certain things. Ignoring was a big problem previously. But now I see like there's just like this movement towards not ignoring. There's this movement towards actually being aware and awakened and 100% in the know, right? Because you have the Hangman in between, in the middle position. Hangman talks about waiting, but like consciously waiting, not rushing. And the Two of Pentacles is not rushing. Like, look at how timid those footsteps are, right? This guy isn't running out of the ocean or out of the lake or whatever that body of water is. He is tiptoeing out. He's stepping carefully. So the Hangman follows to say, continue that pace. Don't rush. So for those of you where this is involving your physical fitness routines, diet, exercise, all of that, don't hit the gym and think you're going to run like 2 miles on the treadmill, do a full circuit of, free weights, and then go swim like 18 laps. Don't do that. Take it easy. Be methodical. Be present, mindfully present in everything that you do. Maybe you start off really slow. Maybe it's like a couple of walks around the parking lot during lunch, on your lunch break, and then when you get home, you walk the dog an extra, quarter mile or half a mile than you normally do after dinner. Something simple, something small to sort of start you off. And while you're doing it, sure, you're not like sweating buckets and your heart rate doesn't, your heart isn't bursting out of your chest because of your heart rate, but it's like sort of giving yourself the time and giving yourself the patience to, or being patient enough to realize it's a slow progress. Whether your goal is to lose weight, gain muscle mass, just to be more conditioned, more toned, to maybe you're training and you want to build up so that you can like run a marathon or something like that. Or maybe you're starting a totally new exercise routine, or starting into a totally different activity that you've never done before. Maybe some of you want to get into mixed martial arts, whatever it is. Baby steps. These two things are indicating to take baby steps. And how do you do that, or what's the benefit? It's two things. How do you do it, and what's the benefit of it? Strength. So again, some of you might be dealing with a Leo, or there's a Leo person of interest within this sector, but it benefits you because it gives you confidence, it gives you strength, it makes you feel accomplished if you go at that pace. If you walk, don't run, in terms of health and wellness, and just your general overview for the week, because this can apply to other areas than health and wellness. This could just be your attitude. Don't wake up every day thinking it's going to be sunshine and rainbows and you're going to have a positive disposition in every interaction that you have. Take it slow, because we're all going to have bad days. But regardless, if you rely on your strength, or rather, if you go this route, with these baby steps, your strength will incrementally build, right? Slowly but surely, you're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more accomplished. You're going to feel more knowledgeable. You're going to feel more invigorated. You're going to feel more alive and ready to tackle the world, tackle your problems, right? So it's going to build that in you. And in those times where it does get tough, where it does get hard to sort of put on a brave face and push through, rely on your strength and realize, you know what? I had a bad day today. And if I have to take a day off from the gym, it's not ideal, but, make a promise to go back the next day. Or if you don't take off the day, just cut your routine in half. Instead of working out for 2 hours, make it an hour. Instead of running for 5 miles, run 3. Whatever you have to do, make those modifications along the way. And that takes strength to do that because, a lot of times people will feel like it's all or nothing in terms of diet and exercise. If I have one donut, I've ruined my week. Maybe, but time goes on. There are other weeks, and there will be other times where you're not going to have a donut. So don't beat yourself up if you have one donut. You know what I mean? Like, don't be so extreme. Strength involves being tempered. Strength involves realizing that the beast is a detrimental thing. The beast can be detrimental. This lion that the woman has apparently got printed on a t-shirt, and now she wears it around to show like she's conquered this thing. It takes a certain finesse to tangle with the beast. You can't go in strong and trying to overpower the lion, and you can't go in weak and soft and try to have a civil conversation with the lion. You have to do something that's a combination of both, somewhere that floats in the middle. That's how you gain strength. That's how you tap into strength, right? So progression, again, in this sector of health and wellness and general overview for the week. Fabulous. Progress is always something to hope for. It might not be the result that you want in the week, but it's better than, regression, right? So let's go ahead and get a guidance, I always say that. Let's get a goddess guidance card, an oracle card from the goddess guidance deck from Doreen Virtue for the week. Almost. Oh, 2. Look at us getting 2. They flew a little far, so let me pause real quick and go get those. Alright guys, that was a little interruption, but it pays off, because look what we have. I need to get the book, because I don't know how to. Una, easy does it. And Coventina, purification. Let's go with Una first. Easy does it. There is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. Bang. Super applicable, especially to that top row. Coventina, purification. It is time for a cleansing, detoxification of your body and mind. It is time for a cleansing, detoxification of your body and mind. Perfect. Both of those, I feel, go hand in hand with everything that we talked about. Down here, easy does it. Even though there has been a little bit of strife, a little bit of an upset or a hiccup financially in your business, you can see it through. And really, when I was going through here, I was saying it so easily. Like, I know money can be stressful for people. It can be kind of like an area that causes people a lot of anxiety. It gets people tense. But when I was reading it, I didn't feel that way. That's why I was like very like nonchalant. And like the 8 of Swords is a big deal. 4 of Swords in reverse can be a big deal. But when I was connecting with that energy for the week, it just didn't feel like it was anything that was going to break the bank. It wasn't going to sever any work ties or working relationship. It was really just a hiccup in the plan. So, easy does it. Purification. Take time to really cleanse your mind in terms of finances and career. You know, don't stress too much about it. You know, deep breathing, you know, count to 100 with deep breaths or something. And that will really help you through whatever stresses kind of occur in this sector. In terms of love and relationship, easy does it for sure. Princess of Wands, she's nonchalant, she's whatever. If you want to go out on a date with her, or you, the Princess of Wands, you're waiting for someone to ask you out on a date, but you can't be bothered either way, cool, you're taking it easy. And you might be doing a little, or you might need to do a little purification. You might need to be a little interested in doing a cleansing and sort of meditating, Princess of Wands. If you're the Seven of Swords person, I think that purification card would apply more to you than the easy does it. I think it's definitely the Seven of Swords person is coming out of something that might need a little bit of reflection, a little bit of a detox. And easy does it. This relationship, this potential relationship, it's got a deep bond to it. And this card up here, easy does it, mentioned perfect timing. So this situation in the middle just might be on hold due to divine timing right now. Maybe both people need to get things settled on their end before they can come together and have this magical connection with one another. That could be what's going on there. And in the top row, easy does it, absolutely. Coming in easy. Don't go in hot. Don't go in too strong. Don't go rushing into the fray. Take your time. If you haven't been to the gym in months, or you've never been to the gym at all, or, you know, you've had, you know, you're going to physical therapy, don't set the bar too high. Don't set your expectations so high that you could never achieve them. Be balanced in what you want to accomplish. Be balanced in how you think you can accomplish it. Be open to different ways. You know, I think yoga, even though it's a huge practice in terms of physical fitness and metaphysical well-being, it's been going on for millennia. But it still kind of gets like a bad rap, right? It still kind of gets this rap as if it's like, oh, it's for hippies, or it's for, you know, hipsters and all that kind of stuff. It's like, no, it's a hugely beneficial thing for anyone to do for any reason. But some people don't look at it as a way to get fit. You can have a lot of benefits if you practice yoga. Now, that's not me trying to sell you on getting into a yoga class or anything. What I'm trying to say is, maybe you're somebody who, you're a huge runner, or you're only interested in doing, like I said, mixed martial arts. Practicing yoga in addition to what you already do could be that purification, that you need, could be that way of finding balance and sort of cleansing your mind and your body. Okay? Yeah. So that's going to be the weekly messages for May 7th through 11th. I hope you guys found something here that resonated with you. If you did, please go ahead and like the video. Feel free to leave comments on it. Share it if you choose to. And I will be back again next week to give you the messages for that time period. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.